Hello and welcome back to the Wednesday Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden. Menu, please.
And I'm your co-host, Ryan. Green tea, please.
Nice choice today, Ryan. Today we have a special guest, Owen, if you'd like to say hello.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Owen.
Good to have you on today. On our menu, you're welcome. On our menu today we have our classic, not classic, just what we've been up to this week, just going over how our weeks have been going. We also have Ryan's classic segment. Ryan.
Love it, hate it, why?
We also have questions by Google, one of my favorite segments because you can always learn something. And then we have some questions related to culinary arts because Owen is a culinary student and he's going to be giving his own personal insights as well as the questions will be related to him. So. Anyways, Ryan, how have you been this week? What have you been up to?
So, as I've told you earlier, this weekend I had a seminar for Kendo, and it spanned over 2 days. There were a total of around 11 or 12 sessions. I went to 9 of them, and they taught you a lot of things, including techniques to use, how to read your opponent, and especially the biggest part was certain philosophies. For example, they taught us things to get to your goal without getting lost along the way. So the first thing they taught us was to always question what you do. Because once you have an understanding of what you do, it'll make your job a lot easier to get to that destination.
Right. Sounds interesting.
And they also talked about honestly, I think that's the main theme of it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I did this weekend.
That's good. Anything else you've been doing this weekend?
Anything else? Well, the other thing is preparing for this.
Right.
And I think I'm starting to prepare for school again when September hits.
It's July, so really that's like a little bit nerve-wracking for me.
I know, but it's just preparing myself mentally.
Right.
Just around the corner.
Oh, and how about you? What have you been doing this week?
So this week I actually have no work because I've been working. I took a week off because I'm actually going to the cottage tomorrow with my family. So that's something to look forward to. Other than staying healthy and biking around and stuff, just playing video games and sleeping in, to be honest. I haven't really... Corona's taken a lot out of me and work has too, so yeah, just getting by.
That's good. That's not terrible. Nice way to relax during the summer.
Exactly.
For me, it's been a busy week. I'm trying to finish up my focus project, my focus groups with U of T research stuff, so that's been fun, just working on that. We're nearly done, so I'm excited to say that. Also just going out taking pictures. That's something I love to do. I've also been watching The Expanse recently. I just popped up on my suggestions and I started watching it. It's a pretty good show. My personal. Basically it's just about the future and how like the colonization of other planets and just like political tensions between different planets. Kind of. It's an interesting show.
Yeah. No matter where you are, politics is always a factor.
Yeah, it's surprising. You would think that in the future we would get rid of it, but no, it still exists.
Yeah, people have interests.
Anyways, Ryan, do you want to jump into Love and Hate It Why?
Yep. So for Owen, this is a segment that I do every week.
Sure.
Basically, I give you a word, and you either reply love it or hate it, and all in hopefully different tones. Ask why, and then you give me a one-word explanation why. So Jane, do you want to test it out? Give
Sure.
me a small demo. I'll give you 2.
Yeah.
So lotion.
Love it.
Why?
Useful.
Controllers.
Love it.
Why?
Utilitarian.
Yep, and that's how we do it.
Those
All
are
right.
kind of boring, honestly.
I'm game. This seems pretty easy.
Jane, I've done many with you. I'm running out of words for you.
I know.
All right, so Owen, I'll put 2 minutes on the clock, and we'll see how many we get through. So
All right, let's do
3,
it.
2, 1. Fruit.
Love it.
Why?
Tasty.
Toronto.
Hate it.
Why?
Crowded.
Hotels.
Love it.
Why?
Clean.
Omelets.
Love it.
Why?
Foldability.
Nerf.
Hate it.
Why?
Too OP.
Love it. Travel.
Love it.
Why?
Opportunity.
Pokemon.
Love it.
Why?
Fucking gotta catch them all. Wait, that's too many words. Nostalgia.
Sophie said the same thing. Cooking.
Love it.
Why?
Passion.
Onsen.
Love it. Memories.
Gaming.
Love it.
Why?
Addictive.
Bitterness.
Hate it.
Why?
Darkness.
Brownies.
Love it.
Why?
Only edges. That's one word.
Instagram.
Hate it.
Why?
Envy.
Knives.
Love it.
Why?
Sharp.
Cinnamon.
Love it.
Why?
Ooh. This is a good one.
That's what I thought.
Unique.
Nintendo.
Love it.
Why?
Japan.
Apple, the company.
Hate it.
Why?
Overrated.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Japan.
Love it.
Why?
Heaven.
Oh, we actually got through that pretty quick, and you gave us some good answers. So tell us about cinnamon.
Yeah.
All right, so cinnamon's a very unique spice because you see it a lot in sweet dishes, but it can also be used in savory, and like a really good masala mix will have cinnamon in it, like from India. So there's so many things you can do with it. It's a utility spice for sure. So that's why I thought that one was interesting.
But it can also be risky to use, can't it? For example, can it like overpower some dishes?
For sure. Like, you never want to make cinnamon the star of the show unless it's like, a cinnamon bun or, you know what I mean? It is overpowering at times.
Definitely.
So tell us about your love for Pokemon.
So it started probably in elementary school, and I think it was more like to do with wanting to have my brother's Pokemon cards because I only collected Yu-Gi-Oh when I was that age, and he had all the Pokemon cards, so it was almost like something I didn't have that I really wanted, and then it just became a passion, like constant YouTube videos of opening up booster boxes, like hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon memorabilia and merchandise. I don't know, it was something that I quickly fell in love with, and I, like, as you know, Ryan, I actually made that YouTube channel dedicated to it, so.
Yeah. It's a fun little channel.
I forgot to mention, there's a little bit of business out to get to. So, just as a little update, last week we didn't post because we were having difficulties with our SoundCloud. They want us to pay a large sum, and since we don't make any money on the podcast, we couldn't justify that. So from now on, we're going to be moving the majority of our episodes to YouTube. But
Perfect.
We will have the latest 3 episodes still accessible through Spotify and Apple Podcasts, just for a little update to let people know what's happening.
I think it was our little archive.
Yes, yeah. So that will be our archive.
This was a total surprise to me. I had no idea you guys were doing this podcast. It's actually really cool.
Yeah,
honestly, we didn't.
I really wanted to get interested in.
This is our 12th episodes. We did it for about 12 weeks.
Yeah, we did 12 weeks.
Wow.
Like, we're still like really surprised like we got this far.
Do you think you guys started it because of Corona, or do you think it was just something that would have happened otherwise?
So we had plans for this already, but Corona gave us like the perfect opportunity to just start it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there's some good things that came out of it for us, definitely. This podcast in general.
So, Owen, one more question about your answer. Tell us about bitterness and your hate for it.
I just think there's no room for it. And I when you said bitterness, I wasn't even thinking culinary. I was more thinking about someone's personality being bitter towards someone else or being bitter towards something. So I just that's a personality trait that I just really don't like. And
Yep.
despise.
Yep. There's definitely like a lot of interpretations, and that's a good one too.
Definitely.
All right, and that concludes my segment for today.
Yeah, so let's move on to questions by Google. So the first one that I have today from Google is, what country does the Sahara Desert cover? Because why not? Oasis support some life forms in extremely arid deserts. Okay, we'll start from the beginning there. The Sahara covers large parts of Algeria, Chad, Egypt, Libya, Mali. I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but it's a very complicated word or country name. Morocco, Nigeria, Western Sahara, that's a place. Sudan and Tunisia. I'm not sorry. Extends over 9 million kilometers squared.
Oh, that's interesting because a couple of those countries I didn't even know had a desert.
Yeah. There's more too, and it covers a quarter of the African continent. So that's pretty impressive.
A quarter. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you think about like Africa, a lot of times you think of like savannas, jungles.
Mm-hmm. Like in the Dominican, or not Dominican, Congo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not too great on African geography, sorry. All right.
No, I always learn about new countries. I didn't even know how to pronounce half of them, so yeah, it's tough.
African countries are tough.
Yes.
Yeah, so my facts today will all be about food because Owen is our guest today. So the first one is a pretty common fact. Pound cake actually got its name from its original recipe that needed a pound of butter, eggs, and sugar.
This is very true. I learned this in chef school actually, and the recipe has changed over the years, but more or less if you want to make a pound cake, that's how you do it. So.
Yeah, because it's not a very efficient use of money.
No, it isn't at all. Like, who wants to spend that much money?
That's really cool. Okay, so next up we have, what country has 11 time zones?
Russia.
Yes, that's right. Time zones of a country include that dependent territories except Antarctica claims. France has the most time zones. Actually, no. France has 12. Russia has 11.
Really?
Yeah. On March 22. It doesn't tell me here, but I'm going to read.
Is it because of the French colonies?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know there's one off the coast of Canada, so that probably would add a couple other time zones. So this is on March 28, 2010, Russia eliminated 2 time zones going from 11 to 9, but still has the most contagious.
Is it because of Sherwood?
Yeah, continue. Yeah, that makes sense.
Continuous, yeah. So since
France's
it's so big,
are just spread out.
Exactly. Yeah. Very interesting.
All right, so do you guys eat a lot of gummy candy?
I actually do. That's like an addiction I have.
I know, I love gummy candy too. So gummy candy is actually shiny because of a wax coating. I'm sure you all know this, but the fun part is that the same wax is used on cars to give it the polish.
Oh,
really?
Why can't they just use beeswax?
That's what I thought too, but I guess it's a bit more expensive to make.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess it would be a lot more of a luxury item. So for example, maybe at a farmer's market, if they had gummy candy, maybe they use beeswax. So this specific wax is called carnauba wax. And it even has car in the name.
Okay. So some more stuff that's international. It sounds like a lot of international things. So what country has the most borders?
What is
something?
Russia again?
No, not Russia.
No, Russia has it's only facing down, so it would be something in the middle.
This country borders with Russia, though. I'll just tell you guys. China has the maximum number of neighbors touching its border. The 14 countries touching its borders are India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, all the stands it sounds like. Russia, North Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Manning, I can't pronounce it. I know how to say it, but not right now. Nepal and no, it's Myanmar. Myanmar. I've heard people say
Myanmar.
Myanmar, something like that. Myanmar, that's it, I think. And then Bhutan. I'm not gonna try. I'm just like really struggling to pronounce these country names today. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a friend from Myanmar. It's a very like Buddhist country. It's very conservative. And at one point in history, they had the military took over. But I think they're out now. So it was like all under military control at one point.
It was a military coup, sounds like.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan, because I was actually wondering, are you still pursuing a Buddhist route in your soon future?
So yeah, for me, since I'm Buddhist, I just try to live my life according to some of those rules. For example, I'm not a full vegetarian. That's one thing some Buddhists like to do. I wouldn't call myself like a really religious person, but I'd call myself a really spiritual person.
Right.
And like later in life, if I get old and I have nothing to do, the Buddhist church or the Buddhist temple is always an option.
That's fun.
Yeah, because half my family are like my uncle's a monk, and my grandmother she does a lot for one of the temples as well. So
that's very cool.
It's half my family.
And would that be somewhere in Canada or China or Japan?
So like likely it might be in Canada, but if I had the opportunity to go to Japan and maybe China, that would be great as well. But that's talk for like when I'm 60 or like 70.
Right. Long time in the future.
Long time in the future. So I guess we'll move on to the next fact. So I don't know if I'm sure like culinary school has taught you this, Owen, but nutmeg is actually a hallucinogen in large doses. Because inside there's a natural compound called mystyrosine, and it has mind-altering effects if taken in large doses.
Yeah. It's most commonly used as like a prison drug. You don't get people in kitchens like putting it up their nose, but yeah, it's a known fact that it will get you high. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
So let's do a little chemistry today. Which gas is known as a laughing gas? Laughing gas is nitrous oxide N2O, probably called dinitron oxide. It's a colorless gas with a sweet odor and taste. Inhalation leads to distortion, euphoria, numbness, loss of motor coordination, dizziness, and ultimate loss of consciousness. So that's very kind of depressing, but still interesting.
Yeah, when you put it in words, it's like kind of scary.
Yeah, it's laughing gas doesn't sound scary, but when you actually like describe what it does, then yeah, it gets a little bit.
But I guess that's just English in general.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right, so my next fact is about wasabi. So I'm sure you know this, Owen, but most supermarket wasabi is actually just colored horseradish. The reason it uses this is because, first of all, it grows bigger, and then it's also cheaper at the same time, so you get a lot more bang for your buck. And you can tell the difference because wasabi that you find in convenience stores and restaurants tend to have like this like Play-Doh look to it, while the original like wasabi has a paler color and
it will be grainier, right?
Yeah, a bit grainier, and it's naturally a bit fluffier and a bit flakier as well.
So, funny story, actually, the sushi place that I work at, Nami, that's downtown Toronto, I made wasabi the other day. And I kid you not, it is pepper spray. It is the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life because you have to viciously mix this wasabi powder with water with 6 chopsticks in your hand at the same time. And this is like 10 times worse than cutting onions. You're there for 10 seconds and your eyes light up like you got shot in the face or something.
And then your nose blocks up as well.
And then you have to take a walk around the restaurant for a couple minutes.
Yeah, wasabi is a really, really strong spice.
But yeah, they use powder. They don't even have the real stuff. But like technically, it's it's better than like horseradish, but it's powder that they mix with water.
Yeah, it doesn't sound really good for your health.
No, probably not. Okay, let's jump into is cashew a nut or a seed? That's the question we got here.
Cashew?
It's a seed of a fruit, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So the true fruit of the cashew tree is a kidney or boxglove-shaped drupe that grows at the end of the cashew apple. The drupe develops first on the tree, and then the pedicel, I don't know how to pronounce this. They're really giving me tough words to pronounce today. Expands to become the cashew apple. Within the true fruit is a single seed, the cashew nut.
Yeah, and like I talked last week, coffee is also in the same boat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Damn, I should know this, but are cashew apples used in the culinary world? Shit.
That's a good question.
I should do some research.
Cashew apples. Very interesting. They're very surprising. Let's look it up.
Used to eat crab apples as a kid.
No.
Like those small apples that grow on trees.
I actually haven't.
Probably once, but my parents told me not to, so I didn't really.
Aren't they really sour?
Yeah. They're like the most bitter thing ever.
Okay.
So yeah, the cashew apple can be eaten fresh, cooked in curries, or fermented into vinegar. So yeah, it sounds like people do it a lot.
Okay, Jane, how much time do we have for facts?
Oh, we got about 10 minutes. We can go.
Okay, so the next fact is in Brazil, one of the most popular pizza toppings is actually green peas because it's just a really popular vegetable there. And they often appear on pizzas alongside raisins, carrots, and quail eggs.
Interesting.
It's just great to see how other cultures have their own palates and have their own specialties that others find rare.
Hey, I think peas on pizza would bang. I might try that
That
out.
would be cool. Yeah,
that would definitely be cool.
Peas are a great vegetable.
Is that all the facts you have today, Ryan?
I have one more.
Okay, go for that last one, because we just let you go with the food fact.
Okay, so this is a fact for living in Japan. So in Japan, sometimes you can actually find that eating out is cheaper than cooking at home. So this is true if you are buying groceries only for one specific meal. For example, if you want to make ramen at home one day, the cost of ingredients can be a lot more expensive than just going to a specialty ramen shop. And you can always find these low prices in tiny restaurants that have specialized dishes such as ramen. Sometimes they have certain rice, tonkatsu, for under $10 USD.
Yeah, I remember. Some good cheap ramen. Okay, let's move on to the questions of the day that we have. So the first question was, Ryan, please remind me.
So the first question I had for Owen was, I want to ask you all whether you prefer sweet or savory in your foods. So I guess we can start with Owen.
It totally depends, to be honest. But if I were to choose one, I think savory for sure. Sweet is very one-dimensional a lot of the time, especially if it's too sweet, because that's the only thing you're going to taste is sugar. A lot of the time in savory dishes, there's complex flavors where you can actually pick out individual tastes rather than just getting this overwhelming one note flavor.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat.
Yes, I wouldn't say it with such detail, but yes, I prefer savory foods. There's a lot more you can do with that.
So that's our mini question. So Jane, could you take us through our big question?
Yes, 1 second, let me just pull it up here. Do you believe that a person can taste the same food differently?
Yes.
Or is it okay, it's kind of dive into why do you think that?
Because everybody experiences things differently.
It's true.
Here's a really good example. Gordon Ramsay did this little experiment on a cruise ship, actually, and he did a blind taste test and made people taste foods blind and to guess what they were. And the more people that guess the food correctly, he chose those people to judge his food. The only problem was when it came to judging the food, all the people he chose the other person's dish that actually wasn't a chef. So it doesn't matter if you're tasting everything, you're not going to have the same palate as a chef. It's just everybody's going to have a different palate, right? And so yeah, I totally believe in that.
And for me, I have a small story. So there was one time I brought these shrimp chips, the ones that come in little sticks you might find at Chinese supermarkets to school.
Right.
So I was just munching on them, and then I just started letting other people try it. And every single one of them, like, just recoiled in, like, disgust. Because all they said was that it tasted like raw fish. But I absolutely could not taste that. So I feel like culture and, like,
you grow up with it,
every day.
Right?
Yeah, and, like, culture and what you eat also affects how you perceive certain foods. For example, I feel like us Asians have a really big tolerance to fish.
Right.
So that's possibly why I couldn't taste that raw fish flavor that everyone else was getting, because I guess, like, food isn't part of their, like, everyday life, or, like, fish isn't part of their everyday life or meals.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting thing to think about. For me, I don't even know. I do think that, individual, whatever you taste, everyone has a different palate. They experience the world differently. But when it comes to food, it's interesting. Like, can people taste, let's say, for example, because you were talking about cinnamon differently. Cinnamon tastes differently to two different people. That's, like, something that I'll never be able to know, but it's interesting to me to think about.
Another good point is, like, Japanese people grow up with eating very different texturally balanced foods, right? They get mochi, which is very chewy and gelatinous and glutinous, and then they get fish eggs, which literally pop in your mouth. I feel like with Westerners, a lot of the time it's like the texture of the food is 50% if they like the food or not. It's not just the taste for them. Because I have friends that will spit food out just because of the texture that they perceive from the food.
Right.
So, yeah, I honestly think, like, Westerners might be more picky than.
I think so too. Definitely. If you think about it.
Yep. So there's actually another food which I could give example to. So I know durian. Others find it, like, really repulsively smelling. Some of us, for example, I find it really, like, sweet smelling, not really that bad. Oh my God, someone's vacuuming. But yeah, I heard that Japanese people, like, in general, don't enjoy durian because of its strong smell and taste, or they might find it disgusting. Some Westerners too just find the smell repulsive and won't touch it. But there's a lot. But I find, like some Chinese people just love it. Some South Asians too, because it's part of their local cuisine as well.
Well, there's also a distinct taste that goes with durian, and I think maybe people from that culture just love that taste more. And it's that, like, almost going bad taste, but, like, not really, because it's very sweet and it's very, like, fermented flavor. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so
it's just about culture.
What is durian? Because I don't know what that is.
So durian is a very spiky fruit, and its meat is very, how would you say it, Owen? Like, sort of fleshy, powdery.
Flesh-like. It's like
flesh-like.
It's like rotting flesh. That's the best way I can explain it.
That doesn't, from the description, it doesn't sound very appetizing.
Exactly, right?
No.
Yeah.
Like, some of us just, like, absolutely love it. For me, the fruit that I can't stand is jackfruit.
Oh, I feel you on that one.
Because the skin, when you look at, if you look at the fruit itself, it just looks like rubber.
Yeah.
And but unlike durian, that smell actually, like, hurts my nose because it's just so, like, sickeningly sweet.
So jackfruits are actually used in two ways in the culinary world. You either take them when they're very young and use them in, like, savory dishes. Or you wait till they ripen and they're sweet and you can use them in desserts. Yeah, I don't like ripe jackfruit. I'm with you on that, Ryan.
Well, We could talk some more, but I don't know what else we can add today. We're coming up to the end, usually where we cut off. Anything else you want to talk about today, or Owen, you want to add to the podcast? Do you want a little plugs or something? I don't know.
Nothing really. I would love to talk more about Japan with you guys, because
Of course.
isn't it?
We have time for that. Like we can.
Yeah, we do. We'll turn sometimes.
So yeah, how long has it been since then? A year and
It's been
A couple
a year.
months.
yeah, a year and a couple months.
Japan is always an interesting topic to talk about. There's always so much rich. We started this thing where whenever we talk about Japan, we have to put $1 in like a bottle or something because, I don't know, jar or something, because we talk about it so much. It's like half of our conversation. So we make that jar so we would have enough money to go back to Japan, which is always we have
Honestly, like it's been a year and something, and we're still like talking about it. Like we're still we just went.
Exactly. That's a really cool thing, you know. Even like 2 weeks in a foreign place can like change your life so dramatically.
Oh, totally.
But I guess we could tell the viewers about like some of our stories. So there was this one time well, not one time, but every day we typically walked like 13 total hours in the day. We wake up early, get home late, and every day we tended to go just go to the onsen. But there was one day that Leo told us that one good way to like relieve stress or pain was a foot bath, a cold foot bath. And yeah, the three of us plus a couple others, we just got in a tub,
Right.
and let our foot marinate in cold water.
I still can't believe you did this, man.
But that was,
We
only
were
did it
all
once.
squished in there, man. Oh
Yeah.
my god. There was like 7 of us in one
There's a
small hotel tub.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was like our first couple days too.
Yeah, that was the first hotel we were at.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulina still hasn't gone over that we didn't invite her. Like she's still mad about that.
I would be too. That was a really interesting experience.
Yeah, like
you know?
what? Like how can you miss out on that?
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Life changing. Yeah.
Wait, and tell us about one of your most memorable moments. Other than that,
Ryan, who is that famous American politician we saw at the fish market?
it's Paul Ryan or something.
Yeah, we saw Paul Ryan.
Oh,
and I
hey, yeah.
And that's when I tried unagi, which was my favorite, actually my favorite cuisine from Japan.
Uh-huh.
In Japan, I didn't even like it that much, and I was like kind of disappointed that day. But yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, it was Jane, Sean, and I. We actually missed seeing Paul Ryan because we had to run
I'm
back to
really
the
mad
hotel.
about that. I wanted to see Paul Ryan.
he had a
It's-
bodyguard right on him, eh? Like,
Earlier, like when he was still serving, he was the third in line for the presidency, so it makes sense.
oh, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, you
like
go last it.
that was such a coincidence. Like we ran back to the hotel, and then we missed seeing who's a celebrity, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him a celebrity.
American politician? You kidding?
I mean,
He's a
it's-
comedian.
I honestly
Yeah.
just classify anyone that people know, like qualified as a celebrity, either good or bad.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. He wasn't that bad though.
No, but in all honesty, what will always stay with me from Japan is definitely staying in that temple
Uh-huh.
for that night and doing the fire ceremony early that morning. What a
But we did
beautiful
miss like
experience.
the second ceremony though.
Yeah, we did, but hey, the first one is what counts, right? That's the waking up. Waking with the sun.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, Owen, but Mr. Harvey actually plans on going on another trip someday with like both groups combined into one.
Yes, sir.
Very exciting.
So we'll definitely like reach out to you when that happens.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's very exciting to get back.
It's not even that's not even a discussion. Like we all have to go back together.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like being in the hotel room with it's the dudes was so much fun.
So much.
Oh yeah. That was
Our
great.
snack table. overflowed.
The seaweed powered room.
Oh yeah, let's
Jaden, do you remember the ice cream we bought the first couple
I do.
hours we were in,
Yeah.
and it didn't melt in the sink? Like,
No.
it just didn't melt.
The
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Japanese
not
rolls-
sure what
24
they put
hours.
in there, but I don't think it's healthy at all.
Probably not. No.
Me and Jaden were like, Japanese ice cream? Ads.
Exactly.
Decision.
Yeah.
And then there's that one time Michael chugged that Vegeta bottle.
Oh my gosh. Too many good memories, guys. Too many good memories.
Yeah. Great.
I still believe Ryan got Super Saiyan powers from that. Instead.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Okay. Well, I think before we hit too many hours, because we have a limited amount of track time now, I think it's time to sign off. Ryan, do you want to do the outro today?
All right,
Ryan
so
will do
that
the
was
outro.
great. That was a good nostalgia trip.
Of course.
Really great to get to hear your voice again after.
Oh yeah,
like,
as well
so
as
long.
yours.
Talking to you is nice, of course.
Yep, I guess it's time to sign off because, like Jane said, we have a limited amount of time. I'm not sure how much that is,
Yeah.
but he said it's
Yes.
limited. So
His SoundCloud is trying to charge us for
Well,
stuff
I
now.
appreciate you guys for having me. What a great experience. Great
You're welcome
conversation.
to come
with
back
great
as
people.
well.
yeah, we'll get you to come back eventually.
Get you to
We
come
just
back.
keep your eyes open.
Perfect.
Anyways, check please.
Menu, please. Now that it's gone, I'm gonna take credit, please.
Credit, Ryan. You don't take the menu. Okay. Anyways, thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye.